driven here to Leeds Bradford Airport. Now it's on to Bucharest and Romania. It's going to be a long journey this, I think.
Tell me why you've come this route, what your route is.
Cheapest option, pal. I'm Kyle, by the way. I love seeing Toyota. Cheapest route, really, mate. Bit of new country as well, and up the blues, and then hopefully we win, don't we?
So you're flying on for Bucharest?
Yeah, we've got a 7-hour stopover now, and then we fly straight to Istanbul.
Hours.
Yeah, stop over here, get in the lounge, 25 euro. Happy days. And then, yeah, straight on to Istanbul, and then the party begins.
So it's a direct flight from here to Istanbul?
Yeah, direct flight from here to Istanbul.
Are you coming back this way as well?
Another 4-hour stopover. So if we don't win, I won't be happy, but we should be.
What do you think tomorrow? Well,
Saturday. Be a tough game, they're a good team, but we're a very good team, aren't we? They're not as good as Madrid and Bayern, that's all I'm saying.
Enjoy your trip.
You too, mate, thanks very much.
What on earth made you come via Bucharest?
Flight to Bucharest and then quick 2-hour change and then down to Istanbul. Luckily living in West Yorkshire, Romania's a pretty good flight from Leeds, so it all made sense, and thankfully it's all worked out pretty well.
So it saved you a bit of money, hasn't it?
Saved me a lot of money, I think. Obviously when you saw a couple of days after the second leg, I think the flights from Manchester were £600–700, so we've done very well in the end.
So City going to win, is it going to be worth it?
4-1. We're going to do it.
4-1,
we're going to do it.
Well, welcome to Romania.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I've completed the first 2 steps of my journey to Istanbul. First of all to Leeds, and then from Leeds to Bucharest in Romania. But still a long way to go. Around about 9 hours it's going to take to drive through Romania and then Bulgaria and eventually to Istanbul, arriving late on Friday evening. Why have I come this way? First of all, to save money. Saw somebody saying, why have you gone that way? Well, it's all to do with money. A lot cheaper to come this way than to fly direct. But also because I have a friend that lives near Bucharest, a lifelong Manchester City fan called Val. And he'll be going with me. His wife's coming with us as well to spend the day in Istanbul and to watch the Champions League final. You want to know all about him? Why he's a City fan? Well, this is where he lives. Let's meet him now and see what he's got to say about being a Manchester City fan. And I know he's been a City fan for a long time. He's certainly not just jumped on the bandwagon in recent years when the success has come. Here's Val.
It all started in 1980. So 1980-81 was my first season as a City supporters. Having looked at the previous season when City barely escaped relegation, I thought, wow, third gates in the country after United and Liverpool. I said, well, these are the best supporters in the country, so I'm going to be one of them. And happily enough, we got to play the FA Cup final in 1981. So I thought, wow, good choice I've made. Reality struck me 20 years later, thinking that other than us and Newcastle, there was none of the top 20 English clubs with an empty trophy room for such a long time. But that never scared me, and I kept the faith.
And it didn't bother you when City went down to the 3rd tier of English football? You didn't think, I made a big mistake here?
Well, it was too late to change by that time. It was a strange feeling playing the likes of York and Macclesfield and Gillingham. And I have to admit that the most humiliating evening as a City fan was on a Wednesday night, when in the local Dubliner, the Irish pub here in Bucharest that was showing the Sky Sports channels, the landlord was kind enough to show on a small screen in the back room City against Macclesfield, whereas in the main room United was playing AC Milan in the Champions League. So, oh, that was tough.
But since then, City's journey's gone the other way, so you must feel quite proud of the fact that you've not just come along when City is successful, but have been there all the way through the ups and downs, and now you can enjoy what's going to hopefully happen in Istanbul, and that somehow makes it even more special, doesn't it?
That's right. It's been a long period of suffering for all the City fans. So, well, 43 years down the road, we're playing the Champions League, and hopefully this time we will win it. It's been very tough, but well, seeing the tremendous change that happened at City, well, made me realize that as long as you say your prayers, somebody will listen up there.
And when you were a City fan here, it was certainly when you started, it was a time when Romania was behind the Iron Curtain and Ceausescu was in charge. It was a turbulent time when you would have struggled to speak freely. So you actually, being a City fan at one point, became almost threatening to you, didn't it?
True. It happened in May 1981 when the BBC World Service, the Romanian service, was organizing a football forecast competition. Who's gonna win the FA Cup this season? So I predicted Manchester City. Well, they got to the final, but since nobody predicted Spurs are gonna win, I was declared the winner, and on Saturday night my name was aired on the BBC Romanian service. Next Monday afternoon, the secret police came to my place. They were greeted by my father. I was at school at that time. He showed them around the house, my room, with plenty of football posters. Next day they came to school and asked me, why am I doing this, warning me that this is how the Western countries are recruiting their spies and that sort of silly stuff. It was polite, let's say, but still quite threatening.
Yeah, I can imagine it was a bit scary. And when you and I became pen friends, I know that some of the letters you sent perhaps didn't get through, or parts of them were missing, and maybe some of my letters didn't get through. It's hard to imagine now for anybody watching this who doesn't remember those times, but they were very different than they are now.
For sure, the average time was about 2 to 3 weeks for one letter from the UK to reach me, because somebody had to read it. Some of them probably were kept as some sort of proof, as I had the occasion to witness during my military service, when the secret police officer was just flicking through my file, and I was seeing the letters from fans to me, from me to the fans, and that sort of stuff. And yeah, this really happened.
Has it been worth it?
Oh yeah, now it's been worth it. And if we win in Istanbul Saturday, then I say hello to all the captains and lieutenants that visited me from the secret police.
This is the book that you've kept all these years, and you've got lots of clippings in there. That's something obviously you're very proud of. What are you hoping for? I mean, as we're speaking here nice and quietly in not in Istanbul, in Bucharest, still 2 days away from the game. You're very calm. I know you're quite a quiet person, but I would imagine that once you're stood in that stadium, this is going to be really exciting. I know for me it's like the biggest game ever, and you must be feeling the same way.
It's going to be very emotional, that's right. I don't know Inter too much because I don't watch Italian football at all. But then having watched City and the game they play and the quality player they have, I'm much more confident than I was 3 seasons ago when we lost to Chelsea in the final, when I was quite scared.
But whether we win or not, you're still going to be a Blue, aren't you?
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it.
It's great to be a Blue, isn't it?
True. It's great to be a Blue.